Hi, I don't know how long my phone will let me record, but I wanted to talk. This is just going to be part of the advocating for my nephew type videos I want to post, right? I'm doing my nails while I'm talking, so I have something to do. I printed out the paper that I needed to request the report and everything on his case. And my mom printed out for me, and she was like, I printed out 4 copies. And I was like, just in case I keep getting denied and I have to go back for it. And I was filling it out last night, and it finally hit me that a year later, today's what, the 18th? Almost a year later, I'm finally going to go to the courthouse and be like, I want everything for it. I want the death certificate, which, by the way, we did get a picture of it. We got a picture sent to us. His oldest sister sent a screen or a picture of it to my oldest niece, which was my nephew's older sister as well. She sent a picture of it, like, not, you know, like, here's a copy, like, you can have one, da 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 da. She sent a picture of it. And so my niece's husband sent a screenshot of it to my mom. And my mom looked at it once when he sent it to her, and like, she's just not looked at it again since, until Tuesday, when I was kind of talking about, like, I'm really at the point where I'm like, I'm gonna start doing this, like, I'm pushing forward with it, like, I'm gonna spend God knows how many years, like, doing this kind of thing. And she read it, and I think I've mentioned, or maybe I haven't, maybe I thought I've mentioned it, that they told us that they didn't know what day he died. Like, they couldn't determine if he died on the 25th, which is when he disappeared, or at any point during that weekend, the 26th, the 27th, up to the 28th, right? They didn't know when he died. Which is crazy to me, because if I've done so much true crime research and everything like that, and I've listened to enough, like, rigor mortis, like, rigor mortis has, like, states that you can tell, like, how long somebody's been out, dead, whatever. But my mom was reading the death certificate, and it literally says April 25th as his death day, gunshot wound to the head, like, all that. And I'm just so amazed at the fact that they told us that, like, week leading out, like, after, like, they found him, up until the detective told my mom that, like, he couldn't tell her anything else because she wasn't the next of kin. Like, everything leading up to that, they had told us that they couldn't determine when he died. Like, they had just told us straight for, like, we don't know what day he died. That irritated me. And so I put on the form. I don't have it near me. It's over there it's on my desk. I filled it out, and I was like, I want the death certificate. I want police reports. I want photos. If there's dash cam, I want the dash cam. If there's body cam, I want body cam, which I don't think there'll be dash cam or body cam. It's been a year. Yeah. On top of that, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the videos I've made about him recently, but my nephew doesn't have a headstone. He hasn't had a headstone. And his oldest sister, on his dad's side, was supposed to do that. She had money for it. And then all of a sudden, well, my oldest niece was like, hey, can I pay for it with some settlement money I'm getting? And his oldest sister and his dad side was like, yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. Like, I have no issue with that. And so that was what was supposed to happen. Like, my niece was supposed to pay for it, but she hasn't got her settlement money, so she couldn't. And it's become an all-out fight, essentially, between his dad's side and us, because a few weeks ago, my nephew's dad passed away. Like, the man finally died. Like, I'm not too disappointed about it. Like, he was a piece of shit person, right? So he died almost a month ago, now that I think about it. But he all of a sudden was like really bent on getting my nephew a headstone, which is great. I think that's totally something you as his next of kin should have been doing a year ago. Okay? Like, I will sit here and I will say this. My sisters had headstones pretty soon after they died. Like, it was a few months because, like, they both had intricate designs, but, like, it was pretty quick. My nephew, however, still doesn't have one. So we were talking on Easter, or no, I gotta go back. So a few weeks ago, like I said, his dad, before he died, was like, he needs to have a headstone. It's been almost a year, da, 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 da. Which is great. This should have been something that you were thinking about 6 months prior or a year ago after your son died, instead of trying to get into his phone to get his crypto money, which you can't get because you have to have his, what was it? They have to have his thumbprint, his face, and his social security. And the only one they have is his social security. Like, that's the only one. And I'm like, I wonder if they even know they have his social security. Sorry, it's just been really irritating the last couple months with his dad's side, because like I said, his dad was like, we need to get him a headstone, all this and all that. So my nephew bought a van end of 2024. He was planning on working on it with my brother-in-law. Like, that was the plan, was to work on it with my brother-in-law. And they never got time to before my nephew passed. And so keep in mind, this van has no title. This van has like no say-so on who owns this van. My nephew's father's ex-wife, okay, goes over to my brother-in-law's house, I want to say like a week or two before my nephew's dad actually died, and was like, hey, we're putting together the funds to like get JD his headstone and all this and all that. And my brother-in-law was like, well, how much do you need for it? Like, let me see. And she was like, and she told him like how much it was going to be in total. And my brother-in-law, like, straightforward told her, like, I can't afford to give you anything actually right now because I have a $1,300 electric bill. Don't judge my brother-in-law. He's not the smartest, but don't judge him. Instead of going, oh man, that sucks, like, thanks for letting me know, like, if you can help out just a little bit, like, let me know. Like, she lives catty corner from him. Instead of being nice about the whole ordeal, this bitch gets mad at my brother-in-law, okay, who, by the way, had his youngest daughter, who is 10, and my youngest niece, who is 5, with him. Like, they were hanging out, like, he had them. And she gets mad. Like, the kids are, like, my nieces are watching this, like, happen, okay? And she gets mad at him and tells him, well, you didn't care for JD at all. He was nothing but a drinking buddy to you. You didn't actually care for him. Like, she's just, like, going off on him. And my brother-in-law straightforward told her, get the F off my property. And she retaliated with, well, we're going to take that van out there. That's not yours. My brother-in-law has property that's my dad's. Like, my dad allows him to have so much of my dad's property across the street from us. And my brother-in-law straight told her, that's not even on my property. You're going to steal from Rocky, which is my dad. So instead, this is, by the way, my nephew's dad's ex-wife. Like, she's remarried to a whole other man, telling my brother-in-law this stuff. And she gets livid. Like, I mean, like, mad. So instead of coming across the street from, you know, my parents to my parents' house to be like, can we discuss, like, some payment for JD's headstone, she goes to my brother's house, which is on the opposite side of town. Okay? Goes to my brother's house, accuses my brother-in-law of being drunk, which he was not. He hasn't had a drink since December. And if he's got the kids with him, he's not, like, he doesn't drink in front of the kids. Like, that's his rule. Like, he's like, I don't do that. So she goes to my brother, accusing our brother-in-law of being drunk. My brother-in-law, having no clue, like, if she is telling the truth or not, kind of has to believe her, because, you know, he didn't know. And is telling him, like, we need the funds for JD's headstone and all this and all that. So on Easter, everybody's leaving, and it's just us main family members, and my brother brings up the headstone thing, and he's like, listen, it's been a year, da-da-da-da. He's like, we need to figure something out, because, like, we need to get him his headstone. So we inform him of, like, what's been said, what's happening with his older sister and all that. And my brother's like, I don't care about her and all this. He's like, I'm going to go over and talk to the guy at the funeral home. And he's like, and we're going to get this squared away. Like, it's ridiculous. So my nephew's dad dies, right? So my niece, which is my nephew's older sister as well, and his other older sister got to talking about the headstone. And his other sister on his daddy's side went, well, it's all done. It's all done. It's all done and paid for. Like, it's happening. Da-da-da-da. My niece believes her, because it's been a year. Like, for the last month, this is what they've been arguing with us about, like the headstone and all this. Which, by the way, my nephew would be so disappointed that this is what is being argued about. He wouldn't give two fucks about he'd be like, dude, just put a brick on top of me and I'd be fine. So we're told this by my niece's husband on this past Thursday, because she worked and she couldn't come to dinner. And he's talking to us, and so he brings it up to my brother outside, and my brother goes, oh, I talked to so-and-so from the funeral home who's in charge of all that, and they have a meeting. Like, my brother's meeting with the guy for this. My nephew-in-law goes, so it's not even done? And my brother goes, no, it's not done. So my nephew's sister straight lied to my niece about it. And I'm telling you, I am not one to give a rat's ass about anything like this. But like I said, we're coming up on a year. My nephew has been dead for a year. Almost, right? And I was just telling my mom a couple weeks ago, like I mentioned in my last video, I don't want him to be another statistic. I don't want him to, I just don't want my nephew to be a statistic in the world because they think he did it. And her and I were talking about yesterday when I went and picked up the papers for it and all of that. I said, my nephew, I grew up with him, like, I just don't believe he did this and all of that. And I have such a hard time believing that he left this house that day and without telling my parents, goodbye, love you, see you in a bit, da-da-da. Like, I don't think he would have done that. So, I have paperwork. I'm going to file it next week on the 24th, which is, funny enough, actually, I didn't even see him on the 24th. The last time I saw my nephew was on April 23rd. So on this coming Thursday, the last time I would have seen him, like, it'd be a year since I'd seen him alive. So that's really coming up. And yeah. And then the 25th, the day he disappeared, we are going to plant a tree for him. My dad has fruit trees. My dad is I don't know what made him want to do trees. If I'm being honest, he just wanted to do trees. And my nephew really liked to do it with him. And so my nephew's friend actually bought a tree and was like, can I put it over there for him? And my dad was like, hell yeah. But we're going to plant trees for him and my sisters and my youngest nephew and stuff like that. And it's one of those things that, I don't know, I feel like I was listening to some, Danielle Hallen, like, when she takes her videos and turns them into podcasts. I listen to them at work. I was listening to him yesterday and I was just like, I never realized how, I don't want to say difficult, but how much families go through to do this, to be an advocate, to to make sure that their family members are remembered and not forgotten, because my nephew hopefully will never be forgotten. I mean, with me and my nieces and my nephew and, you know, all of us, like, who remember him, like, I want to be able to talk about my nephew for the rest of my life. And I want to be able to tell my kids, if I have kids, like, I made sure he got his justice. I made sure he got this, and I made sure that we figured out, did he actually take his own life or did somebody kill him? I want to be able to tell my kids that. I'm going to be able to tell my youngest nieces and nephews that too, and I hope I can. But yeah, so that's all this video is about, is I want to talk about how I got the paperwork for it, what's been going on kind of with his family. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the last video. A lot's been happening, so my brain is not braining the way it should be, but yeah, lots happening. We're hoping to get a headstone soon. We're planting trees for him. Yeah, it's just a lot, so I'll keep you guys updated on everything. I hope this video wasn't boring. If it makes you feel better, here are my really crappy nails. I have to go to work in like 40 minutes, and I'm just now starting my other hand, but it's fine. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and I do know that I have some cases that I want to cover that I'm getting ready to research, so